Good morning, or good afternoon, should I say. Here I go again, talking about the same things I was talking about yesterday. Talking about the hell that we live in and offering to the people some suggestions that we as a people might use to put this baby to sleep. But I'm speaking about the same thing because nothing has changed. We got some attorneys at different levels going to court trying to see if they can stop a monster from being a monster, while you, the people, are sitting back as if they are going to be successful. They may win one or two cases, but they're not going to win them all. This is why we got this monster sitting up here right now, trying to change this world to make it worse for everybody, except those that they have set aside and said it'll work for. It doesn't make any sense to me. All of us people who are dissatisfied with what's going on in the country, we know the Republican Party can't help itself. It's totally sold. It's sold to the evil one. And I say evil one because everything that they do causes pain and suffering to other people. So I can say that evil without biting my tongue. And I can say that there's another way that works for the Republicans and Democrats. And nobody, as I can tell, is working for that. Even when the Democrats were in power, they were doing things that would work for some. Not everybody, a hell of a lot more than Republicans, but it was still a lot less. And so back in the day when people were putting their lives on the line, when people were dying because they weren't going to put up with this BS, why didn't you make the change then? You didn't make the change, and now it's slapping us in the face. And we got people sitting around talking about it every day, just making us constantly aware of what's going on. But where are the plans? The attorney generals are not enough. They need you, the people, to be fed up and say you're not going to take it anymore. And you're not going to say that until you are born again. You're not going to say that until you change your mind. You're not going to say that again until you see that guillotine coming at your head. Then it might mean something to you. Ladies and gentlemen, you know I love you. That's why I'm sitting here telling you this. I'm telling you that you can be living as though you're in heaven, but you bought a sack of bull. You bought a sack of bull. Look at the stuff that Donald Trump is talking about doing. I just heard today we're going to cause some criminal offenses for people who hire black people. Maybe at the federal level. If they can do it there, I'm sure they'll do it at every level. And you know that white people are evil. White people are the reasons, they're the power behind the hell we live in. You know doggone well white people are evil. Now, white people, tell me you're not evil. Tell me you're not evil. You're the people that had slavery. You're the people that took the natives' land. Now tell me you're not evil. Tell me you're not evil. You know darn well you're evil. But black people and people of color, you know they're evil. Why are you still walking around trying to walk in their tracks thinking they're going to care about you and do something about it? Stand up and do something about this stuff yourself. There was a time when everybody wanted to live good, but before they would allow themselves to sell their soul to live good, they tell you can take that mess to hell. There's nothing on this earth that's important enough for you to sell your soul for. Ain't nothing in this that white people got set up that say you can do or engage yourself in is what you sell your soul for. To have a house, God guarantees you that. To have transportation, God guarantees you that. To have food and clothes, God guarantees you that. To have land someplace to stay, God guarantees you that. And you don't have because you let, in America, white people steal it. And then you think around, think they're going to give it back, and they don't give you nothing back. You just, and I'm talking about more than Republicans now. I'm talking about the Democrats who are white people, who are still sitting around allowing this monster to do the things that he wants to do. And you think the courts are going to stop him. Nobody's going to stop him but you. And you need some courage. You better start talking to God about something because these folks don't care anything about you. And if you can't get enough gumption to stand up for yourself, you will be walking some of the worst things you could have ever imagined black people doing. They will do it to you. And God will allow them if you continuously deny God. I'm telling you, nothing on this earth belongs to white people. Nothing on this earth belongs to anybody. Everything on this earth belongs to God. You belong to God. Your ability, let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on to your truths until they are made manifest or you are dead. If you know the truth, stand up for your truth. Don't sell your truth out just so you don't have to sleep on the floor tonight. If you have to sleep on the floor, sleep on the floor. That doesn't make any sense. Don't give black people jobs. You have to represent the truth at all times. You cannot call yourself standing up for truth this minute or this day and then turn around and tomorrow say, well, I don't think I stand up for today. That's crazy. You have to, the truth is always the truth. There's never a moment that the truth does not exist. Even when the liars come around and say that there are alternative truths, it's a lie. The truth still exists. But it needs something. It would be nice if there was someone who would represent the truth, who would not bend and give the truth all of the life it needs. And I say to you, ladies and gentlemen, I say tell you too again, I know you're not going to go for it, but I'm going to tell you. God requires that before you bend, that you give up your life, your physical life, before you bend. Now, you commit yourself like that, I'm sure, well, I believe that God will defend you 100%. Because you have made a choice that before you live in this hell, with white people trying to take away everything that God has given you, before you live in this hell, you would turn this. Look, you sign a piece of paper. You can have this hell. You can have this hell. Let me turn my fish over. This is a serious business, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm nobody's playing the game. If you think somebody's playing the game, it's you as a white person think you'll get away with this stuff. Now I'm telling you now, black people are not going to let you get away with it. And you can get as military as you want them. If you think you're going to defeat some black people because you're trying to send them back to slavery again, you out of your mind. You're as dumb and ignorant as Donald Trump. That's not going to happen. But I would like to let you know that living on this earth is to be as idealistically, as beautiful, as heavenly as it can be imagined. That's what we're supposed to be living like on this earth. Is there anybody, and you're not just talking about me or I, no, you're talking about the human race. Live, not just Americans. If you start off there, you can only start off with the individual and then America. But if you think you're stopping there, you're just as much of a crook as you've always been. This earth was designed so everybody could live just like that. And God have it set up to make sure that implementing those particular plans would allow that to happen. But how do you sit up and listen to white people who sit up and trying to do the things that, look at the lawyers, look at people who think they're important, who are walking hand in hand with Donald Trump. Now, why are they doing it? Because they do not know any better. They are as dumb and crazy as they can possibly be. Their parents were dumb and crazy. Their parents couldn't teach them any better. And so now they're trying to keep on doing the same things that they were doing then. But I ask you, what's your excuse? Those of you who are having it done to you, why are you keeping on walking as dumb as your parents and you say, well, they didn't want to get killed. You don't want to get killed. So you want to be a slave? You want to be something that doesn't even have any real existence? God sent me to tell you that you're a slave. God sent me to tell you that you don't have to be like this. And talking about it is not going to change anything. And those of you on TV talking behind a mic trying to continue to feed us the junk about what that devil is doing, it doesn't mean a thing if you're not doing something. You got to get active in it. And by being active, you got to talk about change. And I'm talking about the change that benefits us all. The change that benefits us all. They are not talking about changes that benefit us all. They're talking about benefiting some and hurting the rest. Now you come up and start talking about everybody having a job, everybody participating in the creative process of those things that are absolutely essential, that human beings have determined are essential for their happiness and their fulfillment in life, like food, clothing, shelter, education, healthcare, transportation, infrastructure, or anything that's built by the hands of man that comes from free resources that only God can give. And we the people doing the labor to create and build these things, what? For the people, not for somebody to try to sell and rip you off and divide you, try to be king over you. Don't you know that in America right now you have chosen Donald Trump and the Republican Party over God? You have chosen Donald Trump and the Republican Party over God. I don't care how much you go to church on Sunday. Every day you exist, you've chosen Donald Trump and the Republican Party over God because you've been into the rules and regulations that they have designed to keep you in bondage. Now, what do you think about that? How do you feel about yourself? How do you feel about your kids who, look at, some of them don't even have diapers to wear. Some of them, you don't even have money to pay rent or get your food stamps. And that ain't nothing but slavery right there. And you don't even know it. And then nobody's telling you. You go to church and they try to rip you off. Give me some money, God, gonna you lying son of a gun. Get out and talking to these people like that. And people, I want you to know that everything that God is about is made up of truth. If you know the truth, you got to walk the truth. And when you start talking about standing up, I want you to know that martyrdom, martyrdom is when you stand for something and they kill you for it. I want you to know that martyrdom is the seed of life. It is the seed of life. If you are dead, killed because you're standing up for truth, do you think that God that put you on this earth from the beginning, from the very beginning, erased you from existence? The one who put their lives on the line. A bullet come and hit you side the head, take you out of this physical body, out of this what you call hell that you're living in. You think the God that made everything would leave you helpless like that? You don't know God. You don't know God. The book tells us there were men who just knew, and they didn't even have any problem with it. But you won't even change because you got, your God is Trump. Your God is the Republican Party. Your God is BS. And you are receiving BS because you don't apparently want to wake up. Because everything, you can see it. You see it in front of you every day. And all night long, it's this peldy hell that's bouncing all around us. And change is required. Change is required. No billionaires, no millionaires. Everybody's satisfied. Even the crooks, even the billionaires and millionaires be satisfied, because if they're not, nobody's going to listen to them. They can't trick you in again once you know the truth. You'll never be tricked once you know the truth.